Hey, what is up, everybody? It is Dirty and
DZAN. What is going on, people? Welcome to the Dirty and DZAN podcast, episode 37. Today is Wednesday, March 16th, but for you, March 18th on a lovely Friday. How's it going, Dirty? Oh, you snuck that one in.
I wasn't going to do it.
Like it.
I didn't. I wasn't going to do it. I slid it in. That's what
that
she
was
said.
great. That's what she said.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Listen, guys, if you love the content we're doing here on this channel, you see that like button, smash that bitch, subscribe if you're new, comment down below with what we're talking about today.
Please.
What are we talking about today, Dirty?
Please and thank you. Let's do NFL first, man.
NHL, MMA, and then we're dunesies. All right?
Beautiful.
Let's get right to it. I want to talk about the NFL.
Hey, wait a minute.
No.
Wait. No, I just got to say one thing. Before we get into anything, and I know we're going to talk about music, I just got to give a shout out to DZAN for absolutely killing it on the content, man. Brother, that last one you did with the game, epic video. If you guys have not watched that yet, you're insane. Go watch those videos. Great
and
stuff.
Same to you,
Great
brother,
work.
with the Red Wings content.
Yeah,
great fucking video popping off, you guys. I know you've already seen it.
We're trying to build.
I know you've already seen it.
We're trying to build this up here, guys, and we appreciate all of the love and support we're getting on that. We really do. So thank you. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you, but I had to get that in there because I love that video that you did. So
yeah, I want to talk about the NFL from the biggest breaking story of last week, and that is. GOAT is back. The wait is over. Tom Brady is back.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Oh my God.
Baker Mayfield, I love you. Oh
yes. That's really what we're here to talk about. This is crazy.
Love this. I love this.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, man. I'm going in. Dirty's going in hard, and I know you're probably gonna sit there for a second, but I got some things to say. First of all, Baker Mayfield. I said this on my channel several times when they drafted him. The guy clearly cannot get out of his own way. He can't. And when he was in college, he bounced around colleges. That's not a good sign. But it happens, right?
Right.
But then he comes to the NFL and we hear a lot of this, but not a lot of this. And at some point, you've got to stand up and deliver what you promise. And when you are a starting NFL quarterback, then your team loses, you're going to get if it loses, you're going to get the responsibility, or if they win, you're going to get all of the shine. It's how it works in the NFL. Your team sucks. And it's built better than any team in the NFL, all but one position. And here you are incorporating your wife into this again and pleading with the city of Cleveland. It reminds me of getting broke up with. Your girl breaks up with you, and what do? Do you save the shred of dignity that you have? Or do you throw yourself down on the ground and grovel for forgiveness? And that's what we're watching right now with Baker Mayfield. And it's sad. It's pathetic. And it would be all undone. And none of this would even matter if he were a decent quarterback. Right? So, Baker, piece of advice. Indianapolis Colts, or wherever you end up, if Cleveland can somehow pull this off, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to Atlanta personally, but Deshaun Watson, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Wherever you end up, learn from your mistakes. But we have seen no evidence that he can, because it's just been one problem after another.
Yeah.
And now that Cleveland has, and by the way, according to all reports, Baker has been in the know on all of the steps that Cleveland has been taking. And listen, you know me, black and gold through and through.
Mm-hmm.
So I inherently hate the Browns, but I respect what they're doing right now with that team, except they can't get Baker out of the building fast enough. And
You don't think you're being a little harsh though, Dirty? Just a little?
No.
A tad bit?
How so?
Well, I know you say you hate them, and you don't think that may be playing just a little part of this. He's
Sure
injured. He was injured.
Oh,
think about the coach changes. Throughout those 4 head coach. I mean, come on. He got their first playoff win in 26 years. He got injured. His labrum in week 2, dude. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's all Baker. I will say the timing of the tweet was nothing short of perfect, but I wouldn't say it's solely on Baker. Is that fair?
Yeah, and
or are you going to yell at me?
No.
You see how I approached it? I try to be a little.
No, I kind of agree with some of what you're saying. He was injured, but you know what? Every quarterback by week 8 is injured. Okay. And maybe they don't have a torn labrum, but they're dealing with a lot of things. I mean, look at Dak Prescott, and look in your own backyard. I mean, look at and he's not the reason the Cowboys are in the position they're in. He's one of the bright spots they have. So
talk about it.
That's
praise.
That is different. That's the difference though.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah. So, I agree. If he goes in, if he stays and he goes out next year and balls out, all of this goes away.
Yeah.
But again, he's exhibited nothing to lend us to the idea that that's a possibility.
Right.
He's exhibited nothing in his college career, in his pro career. It's always been, if he can't find the chip, then he's out.
Right.
And you can only play like that for so long, man.
Yeah.
You can't play for 18 years in the NFL with a chip on your shoulder the entire time. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. At some point, you're going to have to marry the idea that this is a business, this is a game, and that it's not personal. But he takes everything so fucking personal, man.
Yeah. And I mean, how many quarterbacks have we heard being talked up, right? Just for them to not, live up to half of what, we are saying is going to be their future, what they could be looking for. And of course, things happen in the middle of that, but yeah.
And I also wanted to point out, while we're on the NFL and talking about this situation, the Vegas odds for some reason have Cleveland as the favorite. And I'm surprised by that because Deshaun Watson, the first team he reached out to, the only team he reached out to was Atlanta. Atlanta is pretty close to home. He went to Clemson, which is in Carolina. And Carolina obviously has made a pitch yesterday. Atlanta's making one today. It seems to me that, he would rather be closer to home, even though Cleveland is a team that is built to win now. And can we talk about the elephant in the room? The dude was 4-12. He wasn't this world beater, and I'm surprised that he's getting all of this attention at free agency, because you want to talk about somebody that has yet to exhibit those signs. I mean, granted, he's made plays, incredible plays,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, his team doesn't win. So,
Right.
you give me and I sound like a homer here, but I'll take a Ben Roethlisberger any day of the week if we're winning games.
Yeah.
And that's what Pittsburgh did with, an aging quarterback for the past 5 or 6 seasons.
Right.
And so you don't need a world beater in some situations. If your team is built correctly.
Yeah.
So that's, but I honestly think Deshaun's going to end up in either Carolina or Atlanta personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see it working out there in Cleveland.
Okay.
All right. Dirty.
What happened?
I got very depressed.
Are we going to talk about that? Okay.
Yeah. I feel you're leaning towards it. So let's go in. Yeah.
We're talking about Randy Gregory, guys.
Randy Gregory, a very, very explosive defensive end that we have for the Cowboys, decided to stab me personally in the back. And leave the greatest team that the National Football League has ever seen. It's a tough blow, but it's about all I have to say on it.
This happened in a good way to Pittsburgh last year. Tyson Alualu, defensive tackle, tremendous nose guard too sometimes. Tremendous football player, really good at the football, as Pat McAfee would say. And he agreed to sign, you know how this whole thing works. And the first day of signing last year, he agreed to sign with Jacksonville. And then Cam Hayward called him and said, dude, what the fuck are you doing? So he ended up staying with Pittsburgh.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh matched the deal. And well, unfortunately, it had the reverse effect with Randy Gregory going to Denver because apparently, according to, I think it was Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, saying that something in the language, even though the contracts were pretty close to identical, there was something in the language that Stephen Jones put in the contract for Randy. And he didn't like it and asked him, push back on it, asked him to rewrite that, and they wouldn't do it for whatever reason. And so he bounced. And then today, JD McKissick from Washington Commanders, that's going to be hard to get used to.
It's going to be a tough one, man. I'd rather say Washington, to be honest with you, at this point.
They're calling them the commies. And
anyway. Like, why can't they just be the Warriors? Is that not just the best? Like, why can't they be Washington?
It had Warriors, to be something political.
Fucking Commanders. Get out of here.
Anyway, I know it's military, not political. Anyway, so that's what they're calling them. Yeah. And they got poop water in their drain systems and everything. Anyway, so JD McKissick was agreed to sign in Buffalo. I think it was last night or this morning, and then had a change of heart and ended up staying with Washington. So this is a more common thing, or it's becoming more of a common thing here lately
now. So yeah,
and which has got me nervous because the Steelers have agreed in principle with 3 different players, and all 3 I want on our roster. One is Levi Wallace, and then the other one is oh shit, I forget his name. Offensive guard for he's the right guard for the Bears. I watched some film on him yesterday. Man, he's a stud. James something. Anyway, and then and obviously Mitchell Trubisky. I really do like what Pittsburgh did there. If the intent was to use him as a bridge, he's not built for the AFC North. Okay, he's just not big enough. I do like the fact that he's very mobile. He's way more mobile than I realized after watching some film on him. The week 2, if you're a Steelers fan, watch Buffalo versus Chicago week 2 preseason 2021. He played the entire first half, and wow, moving the chains, third down conversions, feet. Everything looked great. So, but if they're using this as a stopgap until they can shore up a franchise quarterback, which is difficult to do, I like the move. So if that was the intent, I think it is. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it is. Yeah. All right, Dirty. I think before we get into MMA, let's talk NHL.
You know what? Hang on 1 second, okay, brother? Sorry about that, but we got to bring up that McKinney fight, man.
Yeah. We got it.
I know we're going to get into it, but I was so excited because, keeping it real, I hadn't seen him fight yet. And I obviously subsequently after the fight, I saw this dude. I'm like, okay, I got to check this dude out. So I watched some highlights, and
you see that 7-second knockout.
Now, I will tell you, yes, I did see that. And I will tell you, when that fight first started, I told my wife, I said, watch this. I said, Drew Dober is going to bounce this dude's head off the canvas. And the next thing I know, Drew Dober is tied up in a pretzel.
Yeah.
Getting
on
pounded.
the ground. Yeah. On the ground. 8 seconds into the fucking fight.
Oh my God, man. He
blew it all early.
Full respect to Drew Dober, though.
Yeah.
Listen, we got to make sure we do that, because he won that fight.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. I'm still scratching my head on how the fuck he pulled that one out. But anyway, that McKinney dude is dropping bombs.
Yeah, he's one, if not top 3 most powerful lightweights we have right now. It's incredible right now. Yeah. 100%.
I cannot imagine a fight between him and Dustin Poirier or Conor McGregor.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Can you imagine?
That would be a banger.
Well,
the only thing is I will say Drew was very, very sloppy in the very beginning. Head sticking way out in front.
Exactly.
Chin up. He clearly didn't respect this McKinney.
Yeah, it's like he was trying to invite him in for the takedown. That's it. He was trying to invite him in. Yeah, shoot here. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Take a shot. Yeah.
But anyway.
All right. Well, I think we need to, before we get into the rest of the MMA topics, I think we need to talk about the NHL here with Now, I know you don't want to talk about this in particular, but you have recently made me a fan, and I gotta say, man,
DZAN has become a Red Wings fan, guys, and we've been talking. It's awesome.
Yes, but you know what is not awesome? Losing 5 times in a row, Dirty. Please tell me how the fuck is this gonna really work with Stevie? What is happening here, Dirty D? Please speak to me.
So it's over for this season. However, this is the deepest. Hockey is so much different, and this is hard for a lot of people to wrap their heads around, because hockey is so much different than any other sport when it comes to team building. It's hard to build a team. It's hard to find players. There's so many players. Some of the greatest players that ever played the game were drafted in the 5th and 6th round, and that is commonplace in hockey. It is commonplace for a 1st round pick to bust. It's commonplace. It's commonplace for 1st and 2nd round picks to bust. It's so hard. So you've got to land on those. And that's the only way, just like with the NFL, because of the salary cap and even the NBA to a certain degree. But the NBA is kind of a joke with the cap, but and the NFL is becoming one, but the NHL is still pretty stringent. And there's not a lot of ability to go out and sign a bunch of players. So you have to build through the draft. It's the only way. Now you can pick up a player here and there at the deadline, in the off season, but to land a franchise player, it's just not going to happen. The team isn't going to let him go. And the way NHL works is the team always has for the first 7 seasons. They really have a tremendous amount of power over that player's career. So with all of that said, do not fear, because Stevie Y has got this thing in full motion, and everybody in the hockey world sees it. That's why everybody is still so high on the Red Wings right now. And it's just getting better all the time, because there's a guy, Simone Edvinsson, who's playing in Grand Rapids right now. The dude is 6'8", and
holy shit.
And he's got really good feet considering his size. Really solid hands, not great hands, but solid hands, and eats up a lot of space, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And he's a defenseman. And if we compare him with Mo Sider on that first line, that's
a wall.
That's a shutdown defense at that point.
Yeah.
And if you can put that defense out against teams like Tampa and Colorado and Edmonton, Toronto, somewhat, Florida, Carolina, you put those guys out there, they can shut down Sebastian Aho. They can shut down Alexander Barkov. They can shut down Nathan McKinnon. They can shut these guys down. But he's still in Grand Rapids, and Stevie just refuses to bring him up right now. And I get it, but there is a lot of help on the way next year. And I really believe that next year is the breakout season. There are a lot of people talking about it being 2 years from now. And even 2 years from now, that would be a really quick rebuild. And by the way, while we're talking NHL and Edmonton Oilers, listen, you guys, I tried to tell you, and DZAN remembers this, I'm sure. When you got Ken Holland as your general manager, I tried to tell you the dude is a joke. And everybody pushed back on me on that. And here we are. Look at that team. It's a mess. And they've got the best player in the world. And there's not even a close second. Don't bring Austin Matthews to me. I don't want to hear it. There is a gaping difference between Connor McDavid and the rest of the league. But then you have Leon Draisaitl, who is as good as anybody else's number one. So how that team is struggling right now is mind-boggling. And you have Ken Holland to think about it. And I tried to tell you that the dude does not know how to run a franchise. And thank God we have Stevie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
On Stevie, when I watched your video, which by the way, you guys, it was a fantastic video for somebody like me who doesn't watch the NHL. I mean, you edited it so well. First of all, it was a really, really good, solid video. And it gave me a lot of insight to this Moneyball-esque, way that he's doing his, his coaching, his picking. So it's really interesting that you say, people say it's, 2 to 3 years away. And even he's like, that's premature, because the way that I'm picking these guys is, to your point again with the cap, you got to be smart with this money. And it seems like he is playing really, really strategic and smart with his money. And it seems like that's why a lot of people are really hot on this is the building blocks.
Very astute, DZAN, because that's exactly, you hit the nail on the head. Because boy, I don't think you realize how smart that was, because
thank you.
They locked up Tyler Bertuzzi for 2 years.
Yeah.
Dylan Larkin's contract is up in 3 years, I believe. There are a bunch, Robbie Fabry, the list goes on. And what it does is it gives Stevie a tremendous amount of flexibility to look at that player and say, we want to keep him. Let's lock him down long-term. Or, okay, that's why we did the 1 to 2 year deal, because we weren't sure about him. And here he's showing that he's just not capable of staying at that level.
Right.
So it gives him a tremendous amount of flexibility to then at the trade deadline you take a Tyler Bertuzzi, which I hope this doesn't happen, but you can take a Tyler Bertuzzi and ship them off to Colorado or Florida, wherever, and get 3 first-round picks, you know, and it can happen.
It's smart. It's smart. It's smart.
Yeah. So,
and what, traveling back to Dylan Larkin, though, this is a young kid. Is he
25 years old,
ready for I mean, it seems like it just in the last couple of games that I've seen, just on the ice, he kind of brings this energy that you don't see from a young player, but is he a good captain? Do you see him?
Yeah. I'm so glad you asked that, because he's a tremendous captain. And this year, I think that was the thing that stuck out to Red Wing fans the most was Dylan Larkin's captaincy. He's just elevated. He has literally put this team on his back. And I understand we're not winning games right now, but listen, we lost to Edmonton Oilers last night. It's Wednesday, guys. We lost to Edmonton Oilers last night, and it almost went to overtime. And this Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl here, and we shut them down in the second and third period, shut them down pretty much. I think that what Dylan Larkin is doing, putting this team on his back, even though these are lean times for him, this is the time when players crumble, because it's defeating to go out there and lose 5 games in a row, and then you got to strap them back on the next night,
right?
And then the next night, and the next night. It's the NHL season is a grind, and
it's a lot like NBA. I mean, there's games 3-4 days, and there you go. It's not like the NFL
you get
where
3 games in 4 days, and it can be a mental grind. It's definitely a physical grind. And
because this 5-game losing streak is only over the course of 3 weeks. So I think since the end of February 23rd, I think was the beginning of it, or the 25th. So
that was because there was a long layoff, and that was because of the Olympics, because originally the NHL was going to allow the players to play in the Olympics, and then that changed. So
right. But I mean, look, just hearing you, Dirty, I'm feeling it, and I'm with you.
Help is on the way
for the ride. Help is on the way. There you go. I like that. That's the title of it. Help is on the way. All right, guys, listen, we have a lot of MMA topics to get into. I think it's only right we start off with UFC 272. The biggest loser of the night was not Jorge Masvidal. It was Drake for putting 275,000 on Jorge Masvidal.
That was a foolish bet.
And you know what?
I told you weeks ago. Remember, I said weeks ago, I'm surprised at the amount of attention that this fight is getting, because I can't see a path to victory for Jorge.
Right. Well, that's what pisses me off, kind of, because Drake is an actual fan. He's actually been watching for like a decade. He's been at shows since he's been in,
Connor, remember?
Yes, that Drake is, he is an avid fan. So I'm like, why are you being stupid? You just want to throw away $275,000?
Give it to me, dude.
Yeah, that was, I know Jorge can speak a good game and get people, get a lot of people to bet on him. But
I gotta be honest,
after a while,
I thought the security case with the NFT thing in there, I thought that was a little on the cheesy side.
That was super cheesy. And how long it took. Again, shout out to Mojahad. I'm not going to say it right. Say it.
Mojahad Fidiat.
Shout out that fucking video of the press conference where he was trying to click the motherfucker on the whole time. He does so fucking good. His most recent one with the Connor and Jake Paul.
Yes.
Goddamn, man. I love him. I get a kick out of it,
man.
I love it so much. They're getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're starting to get a little longer. Cause I remember when he first started, I started watching him like 3-4 years ago. And when he first started, they were always like 1 minute long.
It was exactly
1
minute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
now
you're
they're
right.
sometimes 2.5 minutes long now. So yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Some of them are fantastic. He's done full music videos. Like, shout out, man.
Connor's
I fucking love your shit. I love it. Now let's get into something a little serious that kind of hurts my heart, fuck it, we're gonna talk about it. With the knockout of my man Greg Hardy by Spivak, he has been released from the UFC. He came into this game looking good, and as he started hitting real talent, we started seeing, where the holes were, and we actually saw in this very last fight that he just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
How many times have we talked about the levels?
This motherfucker comes in 295 pounds. My voice is hoarse. There's been a lot of fights this weekend, guys. We'll get into it. But man,
DZAN goes nuts, guys.
I was disappointed. I'd fucking go crazy. I was very disappointed with my man Greg in that fight. I was really upset the whole week leading up to the fight because you could tell he was very undertrained. Pissed, man. This was his last fight on the UFC contract. He should have done better. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
It appeared to me as though he just kind of accepted it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's already trying to work on a different deal, fighting somewhere else already. That's maybe why he just didn't care.
Yeah. Who knows?
But Kevin Holland, Cowboy Oliveira, woo! I mean, we all knew this was going to be a banger, but man, getting that KO to Cowboy in the second round, I think, like right away in the second round. I think right at the top of the second. So amazing.
Cowboy has fallen off though in the past 5 or 6 fights. But
that first round, Dirty, Kevin was in trouble, and that's what made it so amazing. He was in trouble to begin with.
No, that was an amazing fight for Kevin.
Yeah. He got taken down right away. Damn it, Kevin. And he's even said I'll promise next time I won't get taken down.
But I'm pretty sure that Cowboy is a black belt.
Oh yeah. Edson Barbosa, Bryce Mitchell, come on. Thug Nasty, who's now, I think it's a God Warrior or Warrior. I don't know. Thug Nasty. He's always going to be Thug Nasty to me. Bryce Mitchell, killing it,
guy, man.
Going all 3 rounds.
How many times, DZAN, have we brought up? If you go to the local grocery store and you ran into this guy, you wouldn't think twice about him. He's just one of those guys, and here he is. He's a fucking monster.
Nobody has handled Barbosa on the ground. Barbosa, okay, he's a striker, but he's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He has the ground game, and he did not want to fucking play on the ground with Bryce. No, sir. And Barbosa,
he's legendary for his kicks, and he landed some good ones. But matter of fact, Bryce Mitchell talked about that. But man, that's an exciting fucking dude, man. Bryce Mitchell and Patty Pimblett. Oh my God, that whole thing. Sorry to jump ahead there, but
we'll talk about Patty. Towards the end of this, because we got to talk about that right before, we got UFC London coming up this weekend. So I want to touch on the altercation later in the podcast. So after that, we had Rafael Dos Anjos making it through the fire, beating Renato Moicano in a decision. It was a good fight. I don't understand, what was this supposed to be, a fight night that they moved to because it's 5 rounds?
I was wondering that myself.
I'm not sure if he got injured or somebody.
And I listened because I thought I missed something. And I went back and listened. I don't think they really addressed it.
Was this the Islam RDA fight that was supposed to happen? And then RDA had got COVID or something. And then, so this was his makeup fight, but still had to be 5 rounds. And then
that's a possibility.
So I got to look into that,
but still, I mean, you would think they would, because just because the fight was booked doesn't mean it has to be 5 rounds.
I think contractually, if they already signed the contract, and if they wanted to say, no, I trained for 5 rounds, it's in the contract. I want to do 5. It's the same reason why they had to keep, I believe they had to do that again. Not Nate Diaz, not Dana White privilege. I think it was, contractually they had to keep it because that's what they originally signed on for. I can't remember what it was. But
Mojahed Fidiat does the Dana White privilege thing.
yeah, oh yeah. And we were talking about this. My favorite thing is when Connor calls Dana, and Dana says, Connor. It
They
is
yell
my
for each other all the time.
Oh, it's my
fucking
favorite.
hilarious.
And the
If
most
Khabib-
recent one where he was training with Dana.
Yeah, or if Khabib or somebody gets Connor in a predicament,
yeah,
Connor yells out,
Dana!
Dana!
They
Dana
run to
goes
each
running
other's
to
defense. And then Dana always says, I think it's the fight to make.
Yeah.
All right, enough about
La
that.
Candela.
Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal. The writing was on the wall. This was going to happen. It was 5 rounds of domination. I will say,
Pure
Colby,
domination.
man, he is just such a boring fucking fighter. You couldn't even cut up the guy. He left. The only injuries that were on Jorge were the illegal ones. There was no other injuries on Jorge that lasted.
Oh yeah, true. Very
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying at all that those illegal shots led to Jorge's defeat. Not at all. I'm saying, Colby, you're a dirty fucking fighter.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, it was domination.
He should have been cut up because I do think that was a 10-8 round.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But with a 10-8 round, it was all floor dominant, right?
Yeah.
But there's no, you look at Jorge the next day, I'm sure he looked fine. You know,
yeah,
a couple scratches, but
I mean, it was nothing, man.
cheek,
After that 5 round, I'm just really sick of seeing these fights out of Colby, and it's all you get from him, and that's all you're gonna get. And he's just so dominant.
But he does win.
Exactly, and we're not gonna. It's the Khabib thing. It's just I can't get away from watching.
Yeah, it's a little more exciting than Khabib because at least with him, he does throw some strikes.
He does have clean striking. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
But yeah,
he's not like chucking him from under here and
Jesus Christ. And then that one landed on Connor. In the first fight, I still don't know how that landed.
And I will say, I've seen that over 1,000 times, and 100% Khabib planned it like a takedown. So I will give him credit to him on that one. Mm-hmm. He looked like it was a takedown, and he scooped with a massive overhand right.
Yeah,
that I will give to Khabib, and I think that's the main reason why he does those weird knee-jerk reactions, is because he's expecting you to react as if he's about to take you down.
Right,
but he's really trying to punch you from an awkward.
He's seen that his whole career. They fight, with the greatest of ease,
But enough about that retired rat. We had, next on my notes, speaking of the retired rat, Eagle FC 46 just happened.
Oh yeah.
That's the next thing I was going to talk about, was Habib's promotion.
I don't know how much money, before you get into this, I just want to say, I don't know how much money he invested in this thing.
A lot. It's obvious. Dirty. Did you watch it? But by chance, did you watch it? Okay. The production, it's good. It's good production. I like the little vignettes, the videos that they're doing.
See the numbers though?
No, I did not. I'm sure they weren't good. No. Yeah.
They're really bad.
Well, also, this is the second or third show in America for the first time. I think this is much more of a big deal in his area.
And I need to say, they're really bad in the United States.
Right.
Fantastic in Western Europe and
exactly.
And
right. So it is a new area. So I get that it is new, but he's got the name, attached to it. So
but he also has a lot of haters out there.
Exactly. And I'm one of them, but I watched it and it was fantastic. I want to give a shout out to Ray Borg. I mean, holy shit. He had his, it felt like championship level right there. Except he was shooting from a mile away. So forget about that. Yeah. But other than that, fantastic.
But I think that as far as the production goes, it was fantastic. And like I said, I don't know how much money he invested in that, but it looked like a lot. Yeah.
It looked like a lot. Well, it looks like he has a lot of partners though as well. He's pretty powerful in his area.
I don't know how well
we talked about
partners
that.
are doing financially these days.
Oh, Snap.
They're losing yachts, man.
They're giving away whole promotions
Yeah.
and selling them off. Here, take this company.
Yeah, let's
All
not
right.
go there. Hey, you know what though? I do want to say I really feel for those Ukrainian people, man.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh my God, that the Ukrainian, we talked about, or this happened last week too, or the week before. Geez, there's been so many fucking fights. Where our first female Ukrainian fighter, she went in there and she fucking handled business, got that standing. Oh yeah, it's really,
And
really,
when you
really
see the footage, and I don't want to spend too much time on this. This is, I try to, we try to provide a respite from all of that stuff, but as far as MMA goes, it's situations like the Ukraine. I mean, look at Kamzat. It's situations like that are happening in the Ukraine that can create tremendous fighters. So,
yep, 100%.
That's a byproduct. As sad as that is, though.
Right. But during Eagle FC, I gotta say there was a lot of technical fights on display. It was my first full Eagle FC event watching from beginning to end.
I watched clips on YouTube.
Chell did great. He was a great commentator, always great with the mic. Kamaru Usman did fucking fantastic as a commentator. This is a wrestling heavy organization, if you guys didn't fucking know. So having Kamaru Usman there to kind of break things down, it was really, really nice. Triple C fucked up so many times, but I love Triple C, so he gets a pass immediately. Diego Sanchez versus Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee was dirty in the first round. Okay. His fingers were all up in Diego's gloves. He punched him at least 3 times after the fucking bell. I mean,
it's not such a bad thing to be dirty.
Oh God. Doo-doo. That one's for you.
We need one of those things.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bullshit. It was actually a good fight. Kevin Lee looks huge at 165. He looks massive at 165. Did you? Oh, okay. All right.
I am not into wrestling, man. I am not into wrestling. That's all.
Okay. I'm interested in this promotion. It's good. I'll watch a couple more and see how they turn out. Junior Dos Santos was just signed as well. So we'll see what happens there.
That'd be a good signing. He still has a little tread on the tire.
Why this voice is so hoarse. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we had UFC Vegas 50 and BKFC New York 2 on the same night.
Sure did.
And holy shit. Let's talk about BKFC first. Very, very good show.
Again, like I saw before, the highlights, so I'm sorry.
Yep, they're getting better and better, Dirty D. And listen, shout out.
And shameless by the way, to them. Just real quick, their promotion is getting better too.
Yeah, $5 a month to watch all of the pay-per-views. I'm in because I already pay $85 a fucking month for the UFC. Like, I'm okay with this. I will give $5 a month so I can watch people punch each other in the face with no gloves on their hand and only wraps. At first, it was more so of just like a fucking trick show, entertaining, but no, it's gotten strategic. And I want to say Dustin Peg getting it done in the first minute the way he did, so great. But the KO of the night's got to go to Connor Tierney, fucking placing a perfect punch to the dome, right on the temple. If you guys follow us on social media at Dirty and DZAN on Instagram,
please do.
You would have saw the highlight there. What a filthy fucking knockout. But man, same night, whole main event versus Santos and Ankalaev. I got to tell you, that last fight was lackluster. I wasn't paying attention to that last fight very much, but all the other fights I was down for. So let's talk about it, Dirty D. Alex Pieta, the guy who beat Izzy in kickboxing. What a fucking fight to open it up, man.
I love Pereira. And I don't know if he's married to Michelle, is he?
That's a great fucking question. I don't know.
I doubt it. It's a very common name, but still, it's interesting because they don't look terribly dissimilar, but they're also probably countrymen, I'm guessing. But anyway, I love Alex Pereira. and I also love Michelle Pineda, but
Yep.
but yeah, he's another young guy too. So
Yeah.
younger. So
Yeah. It was a
Um,
great test for him.
mhm.
Test for him. You can see a little bit of the holes though for MMA.
Oh,
Of course,
well,
you can see a little bit of the holes for sure.
sure.
But the length is real. The distance is
The
real.
length is real.
He's done a good job.
The radius. Yeah.
Right. He's done a good job of keeping distance.
Mhm.
But the cracks are starting to show early. So he's got to be careful about that. If he's not
That's fair.
careful and he jumps
It's
up
very
too
fair.
quick, like the promotion's trying to push him, he's going to run into somebody that's going to crack that code pretty quick. But Dirty D, we talked about it. It was so great that we had to talk about it before NHL. Terrence McKinney, Drew Dober, holy shit. Nothing else to say about this fight other than what a great back and forth. Holy shit.
It's just summed up in one word. Wow. I have never seen a guy with that much natural ability at the end of his extremity.
Yeah.
It snaps like I've never seen.
And the way you hear it too. What the fuck? It's crazy.
And when I told you guys when the fight first started, the first words out of my mouth were to my wife is Dober's gonna bounce his head off the fucking cabinet. I can see because he's got big time holes in his game, McKinney.
Right.
Big time. He needs a lot of work.
Right.
But it kind of doesn't matter because, well, I mean, it did in this case because he lost. But
right,
if he lands, you're going to sleep, man. Drew Dober has an iron skull.
Yeah.
And he almost took Drew Dober out. And with the greatest of ease.
Yeah. It almost looked like we were going to see.
It was frightening.
A contender on the rise.
You guys don't know who we're talking about. Do yourself a favor and go watch some fucking clips because I'm telling you, this dude is.
This kid is strong. He's fucking strong, man. He's so strong. But you know what?
I don't know that he's really strong. I think it's just. Hang on. I think. Hear me out. I think because when you watch the way he delivers and the way he snaps, it all comes at the very end of his punch.
Right.
It seems to me as it's more of just like a freak thing that happens,
like the torque
of
his
arms.
Yeah.
Like there's some sort of dissimilar part of his delivery than most humans possess.
It's very proficient.
Does that makes sense.
I mean, it's absolutely.
Okay. And I think that it has more to do with that because when you watch him, when they're showing him from a distance, when you watch him, watch the snap right at the end. I've never seen anything snap like that.
Yeah.
It's incredible to watch, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I love watching Terrence. So there you go. Love that fight.
He has got to clean it up though. He leaves himself wide open.
Yes, he does.
And but those are things that can be fixed. What you can't teach is that.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got that shit down. Speaking of freak fucking power, let's talk about Khalil Roundtree and the crazy kick to the downed opponent to the body.
That's not his first one either.
Then the fucking stomp follow-up that he tried to do too. I mean,
that was frightening.
That scared the shit out of me. I'm like, if he hits the spine,
I thought he was going to do it.
Yeah, he tried.
He tried. No, I mean, I thought he was going to land it because if he would have landed it, I don't know what was going to happen. Ribs.
They might have had to change the rules after that fight because that would be the first time that anybody had ever tried to soccer kick a down opponent.
If you notice when what was his opponent? Who was his opponent?
Khalil Roundtree versus Carl Robertson. Yeah,
Roberson. When Roberson was getting up, it was really close. That kick was almost illegal.
Yeah,
his knee just came up before. I don't think.
It almost seemed like
I don't think Khalil Roundtree realized how close he was
yeah.
when he kicked him, because less than
Well,
half
there's
a
two
second.
different angles, right? There's two different angles because right
Mhm.
before the kick lands, it looks like it's right at his face. And
Right,
the
right,
picture of the kick landing is
right.
right in the fucking, I
Mhm.
mean, he could not have placed it better. My question is, why hasn't accurate fighters like him tried it? Is it just that scary of a thing that they're
Because
just like, I don't
I
want to
don't
miss?
think they're in that position very often.
True.
That's what I'm saying.
True.
Because when he was getting up, that was that close to being illegal.
You're right.
So I think a lot of people would hesitate to throw that for fear of getting an illegal, because
Timing wrong and getting that head.
that's instant. You're done.
Oh yeah.
You're not getting paid, nothing. So
Yeah.
that's a risky move, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I also want to say real quick too, shout out to Khalil, his fucking post-fight speech getting real emotional. I love, like I told you guys before, I love when fighters do this shit. It's not all about, you know what I mean, going in there and taking somebody's head off. You know, I really love when they use their voice. And then
100%.
just as a sidebar, I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a minute and just talk about how much I truly have a disdain and really fucking hate Sean Strickland. I mean, I said this before. He's one of, I don't know why I didn't like him. And the more and more and more he's showing why I don't fucking like him, his true colors, he's just a piece of shit, garbage person. He talked about how, when back in the day, he used to be, a big, time racist, all this kind of shit, and how he's not like that anymore. But then the stuff that he says on social media is like, well, that's a little out there. And I never really liked him. And then he's having fucking road rage incidents with women on the, I'm like, I can't fucking handle it. The way he talks about wanting to fucking kill people in sparring sessions, and it's just reckless. That's not how I like my fights to be promoted. It's not a political thing. I love Bryce Mitchell. He's very far out there to the right, and I fucking love Thug Nasty. It's never about that. Political has nothing to do with the octagon and the fights. So that has nothing to do with it. It's about how you carry yourself.
When you
interject
racism in it, I'm out.
I'm over.
And
I'm
it's
over.
instant.
I'm over.
It's instant.
And you're denouncing whole countries, and I'm just
right,
I'm over.
right.
I'm over. I'm over.
With that said, I want to be very careful here to say that I am not a person, and I've never been a person to automatically assume, and I'm not saying that that's what you're doing here, because he's shown his colors many times. But I am not a person that's going to jump to conclusions about somebody to say, well, they must be a racist person.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that they're, well, if I'm pretty sure, I'm not going with that.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? I'm not even entertaining it. Now,
Yeah.
once you show it to me, I never forget it.
Yep.
Never, ever forget it. But I'm not going to ever assume somebody is until they have legit shown it to me
and talked about it openly. Like,
right. But once you do that, boom, I'm out, man. That's
literally legit. When I was like, oh, that's why I don't like this fucking guy.
Listen,
that's right.
and I've been around racist people my whole fucking life. Okay. And we all have. That's the world we live in. All right. You know what? It's good enough. Let's get out.
Yeah. Fuck it. Sadiq Yusuf versus Alex Caceres.
Oh
man. Bruce Leroy, dude. Bruce Leroy. It was a tough loss for Bruce Leroy, but
and I was
Sadiq
shocked.
is just, man, Sadiq is a crafty fighter, bro. Sadiq is fucking crafty, man.
He's tough.
You can't really count out Sadiq. He's only
Those
lost
ears,
twice,
dude.
Yeah.
I thought Demetrius, DJs were small.
Yeah.
That dude's got the tiniest fucking ears I've ever seen in my life.
Can you hear me? Can you even hear me right now?
That's why he's so good. He can't hear the booze.
It was a good fight, but Sadiq knew how to pull out the win, man. In a big way. So
that was straight up gangster.
Shout out to Sadiq, man.
Yeah,
man. Marlon Moraes, is this going to be the end? Is this the end of Marlon Moraes? Got knocked out in the first round by Song Yadong. It's not like he lost to a chump. You know what I mean?
No.
It's not at all. Marlon Moraes has been hanging with the best of the best in his division for years, but it really made me sad to see him take his gloves off. I didn't like that. So
I love Cheeto.
What do you think?
I love Cheeto, and I've loved Cheeto ever since he beat Sean O'Malley. and he beat you, Sean O'Malley. Ever since that fight with O'Malley, I became a big fan of his, for obvious reasons, right? Because we're not big fans of Sean O'Malley these days. It's sad, but at the same time, I think it also does show a lot about Sean O'Malley, because what has Cheeto really done since that fight? Not much. He's had a little success, but not much. So Cheeto was the fighter we always thought he was, which was an above average fighter, right? A fairly well above average fighter.
Right.
But he was never a great fighter. And I think that speaks volumes about Mr. O'Malley, myself.
Thiago Santos, Magomed Ankalaev. That's how I felt. Well, I mean, it was a little lackluster. Thiago Santos takes another loss. Magomed, man, I know he is a wrestler, but he is been most known for his knockout power. It was weird to see a very stagnant Magomed out there from what I saw a little bit, at least.
It looked to me like he was just trying to secure a win.
Yeah, I wasn't there for it. So
yeah,
I'd rather watch.
That's all it looked like to me.
Yep. So that's all I had for UFC Vegas 50. Now ahead. Oh, go ahead.
You know what? Yeah, hang on one second, guys. I'm sorry. I fucked up.
All right.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
All right. Listen, ahead of UFC London, let's talk about Paddy Pimblett and the altercation with Ilia Topuria. Let's talk about it, Dirty, because there was about 6 of Iya's people, and there was one Paddy. Yeah, that was pretty badass from my perspective, and him still shooting off like, come on now. And it's all on film. It's all on camera right there for us. Tell me your thoughts, Dirty D.
You hit the nail on the head. And the thing is that if you get surrounded by 6 guys like that, and one guy is holding the main guy back with one arm, you didn't want that smoke. And you shouldn't have brought it. Now you fucked up and you're going to have to answer for it. That's all I got to say about that shit.
Yep. This is what I'm going to be saying now.
What the fuck?
There's 6 guys surrounding you. Are you going to be an Artem Lobov, or are you going to be a Paddy Pimblett? Are you going to say,
I love it.
Fuck that.
That was well said. Very well said. That's perfect.
Like, no. I'm going to be a Paddy today. No, fuck that. Speaking of Paddy the Baddy, UFC London is coming up this Saturday for you guys. It's going to be tomorrow morning. So wake the fuck up and watch this shit. I will unfortunately be at work, but I'm still going to be watching this shit. I mean, come on. We have Jai Herbert versus Ilia Topuria. Let's go Topuria, right? Because we all want to see that Paddy fight afterwards.
Right.
Ollie, right? We got Holly McCain.
Wait, though. I got to say, though, Topuria, I love him, man. He is a fucking
Topuria good. Topuria really good. Yeah, he's fucking undefeated. Are you kidding? This would be
bombs, man.
This would be a great fight. Yeah. And Paddy honestly would probably be in trouble for the first 30 seconds. And then it would be really fucking amazing after that. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. Gunnar Nelson also fighting on the card. Gunny. Come on.
Man, Gunnar Nelson. Gunny.
Then we got
so glad they didn't cut him, by the way.
Right. Oh, yeah, me too.
Man, I was so fearful. I think Connor probably went to bat for him a little bit, but
I'm sure. Yeah.
But still, I'm so glad that because I don't care. Gunnar is a fucking legend, man.
He's an OG in the game.
He's a legend.
He's an OG.
Yeah.
We got Arnold Allen versus Dan Hooker. That's going to be a great fucking fight. And then of course,
I'm surprised by that booking, by the way. I'm a little surprised by that one. Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't been handing Dan any they don't give a fuck about Dan Hooker. Okay, let me just say that.
That's clear. Connor's not going to bat for him. That's clear.
They don't give a fuck. Oh yeah, he's not on the list. Let's give him every fucking tough competition.
Yeah,
That's all he's fought, man, is just the baddest of the bad, man, for the past 3-4 years. So shout out to Dan Hooker. And then Volkov versus Tom Aspinall. That's gonna be a really good fucking fight.
Aspinall's
This whole
an OG,
card,
man.
this whole card's gonna be fantastic, dude. I'm really excited for this. So you guys, this has been a fantastic episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you watch it all the way to the end,
No
and
music.
haven't, hit that like button. Come on.
Go watch the other stuff, please.
No music this week. Guys, if you haven't seen it, check out my video on the game going off on Dr. Dre and M.
Interesting.
And then-
very interesting, guys.
For you guys, next week, we're going to have something special regarding the slaughterhouse issue that's been going on the past couple weeks. I'm
can't
waiting
wait
for
that
more
one.
developments. Literally, stuff happens every single day, guys.
We've got more hockey content, more football. There's going to be other stuff coming in between the podcast too, guys. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure and please hit the like button, guys, and comment, because we need to get YouTube paying attention.
That's right. Thank you guys so much for watching us. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.